Hello there, how you doing? It's Phil Thatch, and today I'm going to be taking a look at another lens from Viltrox. This is their AF 25 millimeter f1.7 lens. This is an APS-C lens, and this one is for Nikon mount. So you can use it on your Nikon Z50 or your Z52 or your ZFC, your ZF30. You can also put it on a full frame Nikon camera, but the camera will switch into APS-C or DX mode when you install this lens. Viltrox lenses are always packaged really nicely, and this one comes with a little bag to put the lens in if you want to, a couple of cards, a warranty card, and a card where you can scan the code and download the owner's manual. The lens itself reminds me of a lot of their recent lenses. It has kind of a plastic construction, but a very nice plastic construction. A lot of the Nikon lenses themselves are mostly plastic, but it does have a metal mount, and you can see there is a USB-C port for future firmware upgrades. The rear cap fits really good. I have had some trouble a little bit with some Viltrox lenses in the past, and the rear cap has been loose, but this one fits perfectly. It has a pedal style lens hood, which you can reverse. Fits on the lens really nice. It looks great on there, in my opinion. It's a 52 millimeter pinch style lens cap that comes with this lens. Here's a look at the front of the lens. It has 9 aperture blades. The lens has no controls in terms of switches on the body of the lens, so anything that you're going to adjust, you'll adjust inside the camera, except it does have a manual focus ring, which is buttery smooth. Feels really nice. It is focused by wire. Aperture can be adjusted from f1.7, which is wide open, all the way down to f16. The lens focuses internally. Nothing turns on the outside of the lens while it's focusing. 25 millimeters gives you the full frame equivalent focal length of 37.5 millimeters. They round it to 38 in their literature, but it's 37.5 millimeters full frame equivalent, which is an interesting focal length. It's kind of right in the middle of wide and telephoto, much wider than this, and I would call it a wide angle lens, and much longer than this, and I would call it a almost telephoto lens, but 37.5 millimeters is a nice walking around focal length. Here's my Z52. Let's pop the lens on there and see how it looks on the camera. It has a nice dot right there that you can line up with the camera. Clicks right into place. There's no play. It's not wobbly at all. It fits snugly. It goes on tight, but not too tight. It's just perfect. So this is what it looks like on the camera. No complaints there. The lens weighs 180 grams, which converts to 6.35 ounces, so it's not heavy at all. Minimum focus distance with this lens is 0.3 of a meter, so I'll show you what that looks like here. Okay, right there, I'm too close to focus. And it focuses right there. That's minimum focus distance right there. And that is not completely filling the frame with this box, but pretty close to completely filling the frame at minimum focus distance. So I'm going to take this lens out for a photo shoot and see what sort of pictures I can make with it next. I've had this lens for a couple of weeks, so I threw it in my bag when I went to a couple of different waterfalls. This first one is Middle Creek Falls, which is a waterfall I photograph quite a bit, and I put this on the Z8. Of course, the Z8 went into DX mode. This is 1/2 a second in ISO 64. And it's just a beautiful waterfall, and I think the lens did a nice job of capturing it. Next, I went to Greater Falls, and on this day I was using my D850, but I also brought my Z52 along just so I could make a photograph of the waterfall with it. This is f11, 1/8 of a second, using the Viltrox 25 millimeter lens on my Z52, and I thought it came out beautifully. Just look at the detail in this boulder here and all this beautiful stuff. The lens resolves well. And while I was there, I also made a video clip from this same location. I'm here now at beautiful Upper Greater Falls. I'm shooting with the Nikon Z52 and the Viltrox lens at f4. Just look at this beautiful scene. How does it look on your screen? I made this photograph of my wife Heather. This is wide open at f1.7. using the 25 millimeter Viltrox lens and 100 ISO on my Z50 too. And you can see her eyes are nice and sharp, and she's got really pretty eyes, I think. And we can also see what kind of separation this lens will give you at f1.7. And this is also showing what the specular highlights would look like at f1.7 with some Christmas lights in the background of this restaurant where we were eating. All in all, it looks pretty good. There may be a little onion ringing here in the specular highlights, but it's not bad. And when it's not zoomed into 100%, you don't notice those onion rings at all. But overall, it looks like it makes a pretty nice portrait. Okay, so let's do some brick wall shots. This is f1.7, and it looks like there might be a little bit of barrel distortion here. Just a little. It's not bad, but I think there definitely is some barrel distortion. My focus point was right here, so let's zoom it into 100%. This is wide open at f1.7. It actually looks pretty good in the center, wide open at 1.7. Let's take a look at the corner. A little softer here in the corner, and you can definitely see some vignetting there. But overall, you know, at 1.7, I think it looks fine. Now this is stopped down to f2. Looks pretty sharp in the middle. Still some vignetting in the corners and some softness, but not bad. This is kind of midway between the center and the corner. Sharp here, but all the way out at the corner at f2, it's still a little soft. Now this is f2.8. There's less vignetting. The center seems even sharper now. And the corner still seems a little soft at 2.8. Less vignetting, still sharp and even sharper in the center, still a little soft in the corner at 2.8. Now this is f4. Nice and sharp in the center. Much less vignetting in the corner. Still a little soft though in the corner. Mids looks nice. Still a little soft in the corner even at f4. Okay, now we're at f5.6. Tack sharp in the center. Much less vignetting in the corner, and it looks good and sharp. So by f5.6, it's good and sharp all the way across the frame. So that's good. Now f8 looks good everywhere. This is f11 now. And the center is showing some signs of diffraction. It's definitely not as sharp here in the center at f11 as it is in this shot at f8. Now this is f16, and it's a little muddy in the middle. It's kind of muddy everywhere because of diffraction. So I don't recommend f16 with this lens, but it looks great at f8. Probably, if you want it sharp all the way to the corners, f5.6 and f8 are your best bet. But if you're looking for sharpness in the middle, it's pretty good at f2. And that portrait of my wife, I thought looked really nice wide open at f1.7. So don't let the brick wall test scare you off. The lens looks pretty good even wide open in real photography situations. All right, thanks for watching this quick review and photo shoot with the new Viltrox 25mm f1.7 lens for Nikon Z DX APSC cameras. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, reach down, hit the thumbs up button. That helps me out a lot. And if you want to see some more stuff like this, subscribe and hit the notification bell. And as always, I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye-bye.